Alright, this is going to be my first video when it comes to buying your first motorcycle. And let's just say you have no money at all. And you just want to start off with something that's potentially going to get you somewhere at a lot cheaper price than you would if you were to buy a newer bike or even a bike that's functioning. This one right here is a Kawasaki Ninja 250. Only has 7,600 miles on it. Clearly you can see that it's been sitting in the dust or outside for quite some time. Got rust on the chain, not the end of the world. I've seen people ride on it. I've cleaned these up before in the past. And I'm gonna kind of give you some rundown so you could hopefully, buy something like this for dirt cheap and fix it up. As of right now, I did take out the battery already, and so as long as this it turns, that's important. That's one of the things you want to look at, because leaving these things outside, the inside of these will eventually corrode and it gets stuck, and that's one thing you don't want to deal with down in the long term. I want you to also check the gas tank, which is very important. You do not want rust in there, so pop it open. It's dusty as heck. Seals, obviously kind of getting dry rotted over time, but it'll be fine. Looking down inside, there is no rust right now. I might have to grab a flashlight in a bit, but I can assure you there's no rust inside. That's good. Next thing you want to check, brake reservoir. Does the brake work? If it works, especially when you're moving it up and down, you want to make sure the brakes work, because over time also leaving this outside, it starts to crack, starts to leak over time. And let's say it does crack and leak. That thing is not going to work, and you're going to probably have to replace the whole entire line and reservoir itself. Change these things are very easy. Very easy. And I'm going to show you guys step-by-step processes in my other videos if need be to actually do this. Clutch, it's a cable, so nothing to worry about that. Next thing I want to look at for new riders is making sure the forks are not leaking. A little bit of rust, that's pretty standard, but going down to here, potential chance of rust or leaks, or just rain and it dribbles down and it stays on top of it. But these don't look too bad, I don't think. Yeah, no, they look good. They're not like compressed up against it or anything, you know. Next thing you want to check is your tires. Are they dry rotted? Can you ride on dry rotted tires? It's probably not the safest thing in the world, but for this instance, I'm gonna be able to kind of ride around the block when I actually get it up and running. This bike more than likely does have carburetor issues already, since it is a 2009 Kawasaki Ninja, which is not fuel injected. And if you don't know the difference between fuel injection and carbureted, with a fuel injector, it requires electronics, requires the engine to actually run off jets, and in this case, these are carburetors. I don't want to take this whole entire thing apart, so this is just the reason why I'm having it all together still, is so that you could see that you could buy a bike like this for probably, let's just say, $500. You get it up and running, it's going to cost you about another $300 on the low end. That's how I would say. Hopefully nothing is wrong with it. Man, that's tight as hell. There we go. Some of these do have dipsticks. In this case, this one does not. So for you to check the oil that's in it, and hopefully there is oil in it too. you're just gonna tilt the bike upwards. And check this glass right here. And when you have the bike up and down straight, the oil will line up, and you will see what kind of oil it's in there, or at least how much oil is actually in there. And yeah, check the brakes again. Like I said, this one's a little stiff. Ooh, there you go. So slight change, we gotta check that out later too. But I'm telling you, new riders, you want to buy a new bike, you want to buy a bike to start off with something that's cheaper than spending on a full bike, and at the same time you could actually learn how to build one of these, or at least rebuild one of these. Like I said, I'm going to show you on all my videos and what I look for. I already pulled the battery, and for the battery itself, it's under here. You got to remove all these things, the fairings, and the easiest way to actually get to the carburetor is removing the tank, removing the side fairings, and then pulling out the carburetor itself. I do have a carburetor cleaner to actually show you guys how to do all that stuff. So look forward to showing more of this bike build. And as I go, only reason why I'm doing this again is for the new rider, or a person who just wants to build a bike without having to spend so much money, or even also learn how to build or rebuild bikes to sell. Let's say I bought this for $500. I don't doubt once it's up and running, it's in pretty good condition. It hasn't been dropped. It's very clean, just very dusty. That's what I mean. But yes, you could sell this probably for like $2,000, and make a few dollars from it. You know, like in this world, in this economy, people are just trying to make money from anything they can. And I think this technique, this style of knowing how to use your hands, use tools, simple tools to build a bike will help you out long term. If there's electrical issues, I'll also show you how to do that. Just a quick example. This is another bike I literally just finished working on, but after I started riding it around, there was a leak of oil right on the valve cover gasket, which I already removed. It's right here. It's a piece of trash, so I'm gonna replace it. And other than that, the thing's gonna run beautifully. I rode it around the block for about 5 miles, no issues. Just a bunch of, not a bunch, but a little bit of oil leaks from this end. But I'm telling you, building bikes is easy. It's very easy to do. I'm going to show you step by step on how to do everything. And yeah, subscribe, follow everything, and then I will guide you through the whole process if you find a bike just like this. And this kind of falls with all carbureted bikes. All carbureted bikes pretty much run the exact same way. And all you got to do is literally clean the carburetor. And when I pull it, I will show you guys what it looks like, how to pull it out of this specific bike. Same thing with that one, carbureted bike. And using simple things like ultrasonic cleaner. If you do not have an ultrasonic cleaner, you don't need one of these. But the only reason I started using ultrasonic cleaner is because it made my life a lot easier and a lot faster to make sure I hit all the components without having to use this all the time. When I first started building bikes, this is what I used. Just this and a toothbrush. Break down the whole entire thing, break the whole entire carburetor down, and literally spray down the components with a carb cleaner. Get these at AutoZone or wherever you want to get it at for like $5-10 depending on where you go. Kind of want to use the jet spray. I like the jet spray versions just because it gives that pressure to, literally spray everything out. This is the battery that was in the bike. When I tested it with a multimeter, which I don't know where it is right now because my garage is a little bit of a mess. Let's see. Wherever it is. But yeah, On a multimeter, I tested it out, and it showed about 6 volts. 6 volts is more than likely going to say that's a dead battery. A battery like that should be holding 12 volts the whole entire time. Put on the battery tender, waited overnight. Will it charge? It did end up charging. Will it hold the charge? Most likely not. And just an idea too, so you understand. Though it holds, if it is at 12 volts, and you turn that bike on, and you have the multimeter attached to it, it's gonna probably drop right back down to like 6 volts again. Meaning something inside, cells inside the battery are dead. And like I said, following my videos will give you more detail over time. I've been doing this for years now, 15 years about so. I've rebuilt probably over 100 different bikes from the ground up to the point where I started building custom bikes, to where I just decided to buy one of these babies for myself. Love this bike. Do I plan to modify the crap out of it? Eventually, one point in my life, but just not right now. It's a Harley Night Rod. And yes, like I said, I'm not a professional videographer or anything. I'm going to do this as detailed as possible, but this is just the first video to building your first or rebuilding your first bike that is carbureted to save money so you could ride cheaply. And over time, you'll learn more. You'll learn how to use your hands. You'll learn what tools you'll need in the long term, right? And I'm gonna go the cheapest route for you guys and give you all the options to use, right? Like I bought this set, I wanna say at Sears when it existed, for like 200 bucks, maybe 150 bucks. And I just built up my toolbox over time as I sold the bikes off. Got bigger and bigger, started expanding out, getting kits, but all you really need is this. This little cheap tool set you could get at Ross Dress for Less, Burlington, anything like that. 20 bucks, get a whole screw set. That's all you really need. Some toothbrushes that are probably your old ones that you don't care about anymore. Some gum out spray. A battery tender I like to have. The battery chargers, that's what I mean. Cheap ones, like, you know, this one right here, or this other one I have, it's also on. I have a third one, just because, like I said, I like to run all my bikes and make sure everything's working just fine. Will you ever need a Dremel? No. Will you want one? Hell yeah. Makes life a lot easier. Long term for things that you might need to do running down the line. So other than that, that's my first video. Subscribe, follow, and I'm going to show you guys legitimately how to build this bike. And as we find issues, I will record it on how to fix that specific issue. All right, cool. See you guys around.